shoot. Let me jam first before I make this video because I got some issues. I just want to talk about them for a minute. And I got some issues with this whole R. Kelly thing. But I got to jam for a minute, so excuse me. Okay. Wait a minute. Drop it. I'm not dropping anything. Drop my shoulder though. Shoulder lean. Okay. That's too much. Hey. That's too much for y'all. I'm not doing that. That's too much for y'all. Let me do this. Anyway, so this whole R. Kelly thing. Listen, I'm not for the whole, pedophile, whatever. But in these cases, I love to bring up the law. And I love how these people are just coming out and trying to tear down R. Kelly. But I don't even look at it so much as R. Kelly. I look at it as just black men and people in position of power. Now, R. Kelly got Aaliyah pregnant while she was on his tour bus. Okay? She was 15 years old. Now, that's underage. Okay? Wrong. All right? Wrong. Then R. Kelly was like, we got to go back to Chicago. And he was like, and the tour manager was like, why? Leah's in trouble. Basically, she's pregnant. So I'm thinking, and I'm really not sure, but I'm thinking that R. Kelly was trying to marry, and he did marry Aaliyah. He was trying to marry Aaliyah to make what was the whole situation legal. Now, when I look at this, see, a lot of people, they're so angry of what he did, and they're right. What he did was wrong. However, there is something called the age of consent. Okay? Now, a lot of women get mad when you bring up the age of consent, but none of them want to write the legislator. Everybody wants to get mad at the people who bring up the age of consent and perennial consent, but none of them will go to their congressman. None of them will go to the proper channels to get the law changed. None of them will go before the White House. None of them will sign a petition and actually go and bang on the doors of the House of Representatives. None of them will do this. They'll just all get mad at black men and, you guys are just... But none of you will actually take the time and research the law and then make the proper steps to go and get the law changed. And this is what upsets me. It's not like you guys are dumb, meaning you do not have the capability to learn. You're just being stupid, meaning you choose to be in a state of stupor. There's a big difference. One is you just don't have the capability. And the other one is you have the capability, you just don't want to do it. And in these cases, you have people who are in a state of stupor. Now let's talk about it. The women who are talking about R. Kelly and what he did back then, they were all teenagers underage. Talking about how R. Kelly had one of them bent over in the studio and right in front of everybody. And none of them said anything. You're a teenager doesn't mean you don't know how to talk. Didn't say anything. Mind you, the girl he was in the sex tape with, that girl was still with him till she was an adult. And they still communicate today. Okay? This is what I mean by a state of stupor. You have a mouth. Even a 5-year-old will tell on you in a heartbeat. He or she will be like, mommy, mommy, or daddy, daddy. this guy threw a ball and hit me in the head, and then mom and dad will come outside and, you going to get the business. What's wrong with these people at this age? Whatever age it was, 15 under, what's wrong with you? Why couldn't you say anything? This is what gets me. And then Aaliyah's mom says she was with Aaliyah the whole time. It's just like, obviously you wasn't. You wasn't. But here's what you were doing. You were getting paid. You were getting paid. Once again, in a state of stupor. This is the tour bus. It's where they're all sleeping. All the teenage girls. All the so-called backup singers. This was one of them. And she was a teenager back then. Why didn't you say anything? This woman says she feels protective of Aaliyah even now. Well, why didn't you say something when you saw R. Kelly having sex with this teenager? None of you called the police? All of a sudden, you guys can't call the police if you think it's so wrong. No, you were all getting paid. And since you were all getting paid, you all kept your mouth shut. What he did was wrong. What you didn't do was wrong. And that's it, and that's all. And let's not... Here's what gets me. Let's not act like people aren't doing this all the time. Let's not act like all these girls were... I don't even know if they were or they weren't. But let's not act like these girls aren't active. Now, I ain't saying that they were. I'm saying that girls that age aren't active chasing down older guys. Let's not act like this doesn't happen. And let's not act like 13, 14, and 15-year-olds don't run off and get married to 17, 18, or who's considered adults. Up to 30 years old and even older. Let's not act like this does not happen. Because it happens all over the world. All the time. All the time. And the majority of the time, it isn't black people who's doing it. But all of a sudden, this is a big deal. 25 years later. I'm calling foul on somebody. I'm calling if you knew and you said nothing, you're in trouble too. If that's what you're trying to do, you saw it, you was an eyewitness, you said nothing, you let it happen, you're in trouble too. Your parents were getting paid even after the fact, after they knew, and they kept you on the bus, they kept you on the tour, you're in trouble too. Your parents in trouble too. Okay? Because everybody was getting that money. Everybody wanted to be a star. They was like, oh, Aaliyah out here doing videos. She got hit records. I want to be a star too. What do I need to do? Keep my mouth shut and bend over? Bet. And when it doesn't work out for you, or when you become a spinster, all of a sudden R. Kelly did this? No, shut your mouth. Because you knew back then. Your parents knew. The tour manager knew. Everybody knew what was going on. They saw the marriage license. The marriage license was put on MTV. And Aaliyah said she was 18 and everybody knew she was 15. Everybody knew. If you're gonna go after these people, go after them when the crime happens. Speak up then. But you was getting paper. Your parents was getting paper. Y'all was trying to come out of Chicago or wherever y'all was from and get that money. Everybody wanted to be famous. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it. Aaliyah is gone. I'm not trying to hear it. You guys knew what was going on. None of you, not one of you went to the legislator and tried to change the law, even today. You have men and women. Let's quit acting like women aren't doing the same thing. Quit acting like these teachers ain't out here knocking off 12-year-olds on a regular and then walking out of court like, so what? Getting no time at all, keeping their job, not having to register. Stop acting like it ain't happening because it's happening. Black women too. Stop acting like you black women ain't doing this to these boys out here and girls. Oh, y'all not doing that? Y'all not doing that? Y'all doing it because we know y'all doing it. Look at the case with Stigler. She was a teacher knocking off a 12-year-old. Black woman. Okay? Just quit acting like, no, you guilty. You know what I'm saying? Go and look at the law. What is the age of consent? What is the age of parental consent? Go and look at those ages. All those ages fall under 16, where it's legal to do this. And that's what R. Kelly did. That's what he was really trying to do. He's like, oh, in the state of whatever state he was in where the crime happened, he's like, okay, this is a crime. And now she's pregnant. I can't hide it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and marry her and try to get, try to be under the law. That's what he was trying to do. I ain't saying the man was right, but I'm saying he was wrong and everybody else who knew about it and didn't do anything about it was also wrong. It's your boy Tone 202. You're wrong.